At my son's 1-month celebration, my wife heard that her first love got divorced. She got drunk on the spot and wanted to drive over 1,000 kilometers overnight to pick him up. He still loves me. He's got nothing left. He's waiting for me. I held back my tears and called her parents, suggesting we get a divorce. That night, she didn't go. The next day, she saw a post where her first love had slit his wrists. She went nuts, dangling our son over the balcony. "Paul, I'll make you feel the pain of losing your loved one." I lunged to grab our son, but she pushed us both off the building. The moment we hit the ground, I was back at the 1-month celebration, holding my son again. This time, I let her chase her love. She ended up disabled, died miserably, and couldn't even go crazy anymore. With the banquet nearing its end, Lisa and I were busy seeing off guests. Only her old classmates remained at a table, drinking and gossiping. "Hey, I've got news. William divorced today. You all didn't know, right? Didn't he marry well? How'd he suddenly end up divorced? It was all a facade. He was just a kept man in a rich family. Serves him right. If he'd married Lisa, would he be where he is today? Back then, everyone thought they'd go from school uniforms to wedding gowns. Who didn't envy Lisa back in the day?" I swayed a little, clutching my son, whom I almost lost. The weightless feeling of falling from the building had left my legs weak. But Lisa was all caught up in those words, not noticing how off I was. "Paul, you take the baby home. I'll chat with them a bit more." Before I answered, she casually walked over. "Were you guys talking about William? What's up with him?" I went home ahead of her, drafting a divorce agreement and waiting. After dark, as expected, Lisa was escorted back, semi-drunk. She rushed to me. "Paul, I'm sorry," then grabbed the car keys, staggering toward the door. I snatched the keys and asked where she was going. She pretended to be tipsy and said, "I'm going to find William. He still loves me, and he's waiting for me." When we dated, Lisa never mentioned William and swore I was the only one. I'd heard about their past from others and felt uneasy, but she proved in countless ways they were never in contact. She'd hold an umbrella over me when it rained, make soup when I was sick, shield me from danger. When I was with her through her pregnancy and childbirth, she showed immense care. I believed our love was mutual. Colleagues and family all praised her as an exceptional wife. So, in a past life, hearing her words left me shocked, heartbroken, hysterical even. I took the keys and locked the door, question after question pouring out. Why did our love disappear? She flung her phone at me, showing me proof of William's love, begging me to let her go. "I need to find William. He's waiting for me. He has no family, no friends, nothing, just me." My mind was a mess. My heart felt like it was being eaten alive by ants. I called Lisa's parents, who lived in the same neighborhood. In their presence, I told Lisa, "You can go, but sign the divorce papers first." Her mother slapped and cursed her. Her father threw a basin of cold water on her face. She took it all silently, like she had no soul. The next day, sober, she promised to make things right with me, coaxing her parents out. Then, while I was making formula, she grabbed our son and rushed to the balcony. "Paul, William slashed his wrists this morning. Are you happy now?" Lisa's eyes were bloodshot, her smile cruel. She held our son over the edge, his tiny body dangling. Terrified, I ran to her, too scared to confront her anger. "William cut his wrists. If he told you, he must not be dead yet. Go find him. Give me back the baby." Our son's face turned purple, whimpering like a kitten. Lisa shouted at me, deranged. "He cut his wrists. Didn't you get it? It's all your fault, Paul. I'll make you feel what it's like to lose your love." She lifted him higher, flaunting him in front of me. I leapt to grab him back but was pushed off the building with him. In such a rush, let's both redeem ourselves with William. I fell rapidly, unable to grasp my son. But as we landed, we were back at the celebration. Thank goodness it wasn't too late. This time, I'd let them be together. I'll see if she could survive with nothing but love. Death is nothing. Living like hell is much worse. "Paul, open the door. Give me the car keys." Don't make me hurt you. Lisa's yelling snapped me back. I didn't call her parents like before, but I turned to the surveillance system, turned on before she came in, and started my tearful performance. I held on to her, tears streaming, listening to her profess her feelings for William. I asked, heartbroken, "So what am I to you? What were we? Did you ever love me?" She hesitated. "Don't ask. I don't know." Then shakily handed me her phone. "All I know is William needs me." Hands trembling, I opened her phone with my birthday, unlocking it. Her screen lingered on William's recent post. "I have nothing left, just memories. I have a dream. The girl who promised me a home arrives with roses to pick me up. But it's just a dream. Nothing here worth staying for." I took a screenshot of William's post, ready to disentangle myself. Resolutely, I presented 2 agreements, hugging her firmly. "I'm worth less than William? Fine, divorce. You agree the house, car, child, business, and savings are all mine, and I'll let you leave." She grabbed the papers immediately, not even looking. Quickly signing the divorce agreement and the equity transfer agreement, I pressed my fingerprint down. Then she threw them at me, asking, "Is that enough?" Papers scattered everywhere as our son cried loudly in the nanny's arms. My hands shook as I fumbled for my car keys and phone to lock the door. She yanked my shirt impatiently, snatched everything away, and stormed out, slamming the door. I collapsed onto the floor, my hand landing on a shattered glass she had smashed before, blood oozing out. I felt completely broken, crying out loud. Mary sighed, setting our son down and kneeling beside me. "Paul, let me see your wound." Holding my son, I felt lost, blood smearing everywhere. Mary could only help by gathering the scattered documents and handing me my phone. She asked, "Lisa's parents live nearby. Should I call them?" With the phone in hand, I frantically dialed Lisa's number repeatedly. But all I got was a busy tone and a red exclamation mark. Did she block me? Is she really this heartless? I glanced at the agreements Mary held. Then, like a madman, I shoved my baby into her arms, grabbed the agreements, and rushed to lock them in the safe. I heard Mary making calls outside, notifying my in-laws. I tugged at my hair and texted my lawyer buddy. "Ken, agreement signed. Her parents are coming soon." Ken texted back immediately. "Handle the company equity transfer first. Divorce proceedings take longer. Better push for a divorce registration now. Delete after reading. Call me." I didn't reply but deleted the messages. Mary's voice came from outside. "Paul, please come out and bandage your wound." I called Lisa's parents. "They're on their way." I rose slowly, as if in a trance, and opened the door, letting Mary lead me back into the living room under the security camera's watch. She helped with my wound before I called Ken and broke down crying. "Ken, Lisa doesn't want me or our baby. What do I do?" Ken was outraged, asking, "What? Where is she?" "I left some documents at your place. I'm on my way to get them. Hang in there." The doorbell rang just then. My in-laws had arrived. They were alarmed by the glass shards on the floor and the blood stains on me and my son. "Is the baby hurt? Let me see," they exclaimed. "What happened here? Where's Lisa?" Mary, as an observer, explained the situation. Feeling she wasn't dramatic enough, I handed my in-laws a phone, sobbing, "Dad, Mom, Lisa lost it after seeing William's post. Insisted on driving to find him. I called her so many times. She didn't answer, even blocked me. Check the security footage. She's so ruthless." Upon seeing William's post and Lisa's drunken state on the footage, my father-in-law fumed. "Is she possessed? Don't worry, Paul. I'll break her legs myself when I see her." My mother-in-law worried for her daughter. Drunk and unstable, listening to that vixen and driving? So late, what if something happens? Something was definitely happening. A mere DUI wouldn't suffice for her. I clutched my mother-in-law's hand anxiously. "Mom, what do we do? The car has an ETC, so no checkpoints at tolls. She might already be on the highway." My in-laws panicked, calling and messaging her desperately. First, Lisa ignored them all. My father-in-law angrily messaged her nonstop. They were determined to keep calling until Lisa picked up. The doorbell rang again. Ken arrived. I collapsed into his arms, crying real tears. The terror of feeling like I was falling and losing my son was overwhelming. I let myself be as fragile as a rag doll. Ken, looking grim, pressured my in-laws. I'm sorry for being rude, but if Lisa doesn't return tonight, the agreements will go into effect. Desperation made them comply, all right? Don't worry, Paul, we'll get her back to make amends. With time passing, their endless calls finally got a response. Lisa's voice came through the speakerphone. Dad, Mom, I'll talk when I get back. I'm on the highway. Her words were slurred and unclear. Hard to tell if she was drunker or just sleepy. My in-laws yelled at her. Pull over to the emergency lane or a service area and call the police. Yes. Stop driving and send us your location. Lisa suddenly screamed. It's your fault, disapproving of William because of his family's situation. I had to marry far away. This time, no one can stop me. She seemed briefly lucid. Then the engine roared again. Before they could plead further, a crash echoed from her end, followed by more metallic collisions. Lisa! Lisa! My in-laws shouted, their calls cut off by static. The crash was significant, suggesting a real accident. What a shame. Tomorrow, William's wrist-cutting scene might miss its best audience. The room was in chaos. My mother-in-law swallowed some blood pressure and nitroglycerin pills. My father-in-law was frantic. I nudged Ken, then dramatically fainted into his arms. He played along, shouting, Paul, wake up. Now's not the time. Lisa's condition is still unknown. After a moment, the pain brought me around. I gasped, tears streaming down. Dad, Mom, Lisa, she. Before I finished, my phone rang. The caller identified as a traffic officer, asking family to head to the city hospital. The vehicle was badly damaged. Rescuers were helping the injured. An ambulance already dispatched. Ken efficiently managed the call, getting incident details and even photos. Turns out, Lisa drove too fast, veered off the road during a sharp turn, hitting a mountain. All airbags deployed, but she survived. But the entire front of the car was smashed, and her leg was trapped tight. The firefighters were cutting through the car to get her out. What's even crazier is, she drove over 100 kilometers, and they still have to send her back to the city for surgery. My in-laws were freaking out. It was only after Ken reminded me that I thought to pack things for the hospital. We stayed connected with the scene live. In the footage, Lisa was finally rescued, looking pale as a ghost, with her right leg a bloody mess. Her first words, though, were, "Where's my phone?" Medical staff helped her get on an oxygen mask, kindly holding up the phone to show her. "Your phone's busted. Your parents and husband are on the line. Hang in there." Yeah. Family's all online. But the love of her life is someone else. She pulled off the oxygen mask, pleading again, "I need to make a call." Her voice was so weak, it was like a whisper, and she looked barely alive. Still, she insisted on calling William to tell him about the accident. Sadly, she passed out before the call even connected. Their love, though no one gets it, is truly something else. Ken, feeling for me, mocked, saying Lisa would love him to death. The call ended, and my in-laws, besides worrying about their daughter, didn't comment on anything else. Nonetheless, I had my woe is me routine going. Over half an hour later, the ambulance rushed in, and Lisa was taken to the surgery. When we asked about her condition, the doctor just shot us a line. "She's badly injured, vitals are dropping, needs further checks. Karma hits fast." I couldn't help but smile a little, leaning on Ken's shoulder, pretending to weep dramatically. My mother-in-law, seeing Lisa's terrible state, suddenly freaked, grabbing my arm. "Why didn't you stop her? You knew she drank so much, but you let her drive on the highway at night." Of course, the blame lands on me. Sons-in-law are always outsiders. Their daughter can do no wrong. Good thing I discussed this with Ken right away, preparing for any accusation. Holding my bandaged-up hand, I sobbed pitifully, "Mom, I tried to stop her. You saw the footage." She was determined to find William. The first couldn't stop her. My mother-in-law, despite having no ground to stand on, insisted. You couldn't call us? If not, why not call the traffic police to report her for drunk driving? They could have stopped her, right? Ken stood up for me firmly in my defense. Paul didn't stop her. She snatched the car keys from him and went on her self-destructive mission alone. And call the cops for drunk driving now? Anyone can play the hindsight hero. How come you didn't report her when you got the call and there was time before the accident? With how Lisa treated Paul, it's surprising he didn't lose it right then. Ken, used to courtroom battles, was in full force. My mother-in-law was at a loss for words and quickly changed the subject, telling him to butt out. My father-in-law sternly cut in. Enough. This isn't Paul's fault. The person's injured, let's not disturb the doctors. My mother-in-law collapsed on a chair, sobbing and yelling. Everything was fine, but why was Lisa so foolish? All thanks to that William. She finally remembered William, her chosen target of blame. Ranting with no one paying mind. Not long after, a doctor came out from surgery. Lisa's family, we need a signature for the surgery consent. The patient has severe right leg fractures with major vascular injury amputations necessary to save her life. Between her leg and her life, there was no choice. The papers had to be signed for the surgery. I joined my mother-in-law, begging the doctor to save Lisa's life. After hours of surgery, Lisa pulled through and was moved to ICU for observation. The result, oddly, left me feeling a tad disappointed. Upon the news, I staged another dramatic feint of overwhelming emotion. The doctor claimed I was exhausted, with all the childbirth and stress piling on, and suggested I rest more. Finally, the chance to head home. I went to see my son, napping over at Mary's. Back in my room with Ken, I handed him the stock transfer agreement Lisa signed. Ken, this is on you. Let's handle the company stuff first. Now she's down a leg, William might not want her. I worry she'll back out of the divorce. I need to upset Lisa enough that she still agrees to the divorce soon. Ideally, she won't care about anything else. Ken took the agreement, agreeing easily. Then he hugged me, comforting. Paul, if you feel hurt, just let it out and cry. Seeing you so strong and calculating actually breaks my heart more. He didn't know about the time I nearly fell off a building with my son. Lisa's heart is with William. Any love for me was just an act. I had always been her fallback, her second choice, a place for those wandering feelings. So there's nothing to be sad about for someone like that. Honestly, she's not worth it. Better to grieve for the car wrecked and company assets she nearly destroyed. Ken, knowing me over a decade, probably saw me this at ease for the first time. He looked like a fish, mouth opening and closing silently before finally giving me a thumbs up. I told him to rest up and help me manage the company transfer. Then started drafting a message to my parents. Explained everything, what happened, and what I planned, asking them to come help. With past troubles kept in mind, managing with a newborn, everything must be cautiously planned, always guarded. Because when pushed, people can do anything. My parents, off on their trip, soon called back. We'll be on the first flight back tomorrow. After calming them and agreeing on next steps, I sent Mary $2,000, asking him to take good care of my son. Dawn broke, nearing the time Lisa would start losing it in my previous life. I went out, got a new phone and SIM, heading to the hospital to give Lisa another nudge. She was back in a regular ward but not yet awake. My in-laws, aged overnight with worry, looked worn out. I hadn't slept either. I was probably in worse shape than them. Dad, Mom, losing a leg so suddenly, Lisa's gonna have a hard time. We have to support her, help rebuild her confidence. My mother-in-law adores Lisa, so she naturally agreed. My father-in-law, though not as enthusiastic, still had some decency. He said to me, "It's hard on you." I put on a sad face, but inside, I didn't feel a bit sorry. I was just waiting for Lisa to wake up and witness William's wrist-slitting drama. Lisa didn't disappoint. After waking up, she crazily yanked off her oxygen mask, trying to sit up and pull out her fore. Her leg probably hadn't recovered from the anesthesia, and she hadn't realized she was now disabled. Her parents held her tightly, with her mom crying and pleading, "Where are you trying to go? You're badly hurt, you can't be moving around." I quietly reminded her, Yeah, your leg can't move yet. Following my words, she instinctively moved her leg and widened her eyes. What's wrong with my leg? Why can't I move my right leg? I can't feel it. Her mom couldn't hold it in anymore and started crying loudly. Lisa managed to get herself up, reaching for her shortened right leg. I timidly explained the amputation was to save her life. She went crazier afterward, pounding the bed non-stop. Why did you agree to the amputation? How do I live without my leg? Huh? Tell me, how do I live? Ignoring all reasons, she acted like a beast trapped in a cage, crashing around and saying she wanted to die. I grabbed her and, swallowing my pride, tried to reason with her. Don't you care about your parents or me and the baby? And what about William? You said he's waiting for you, he's got only you. If you die, what will he do? Mentioning William, she indeed quieted down. Her parents looked at me approvingly. I took out a new phone and handed it to her. I got you a new SIM card. Go ahead. Contact him. I pretended to cry and peeked through my fingers. True love conquers all. She picked up the phone to call him, but no one answered. Then she checked social media. William's new photo was very artistic. He was lying on a white bed, an emptied wine bottle next to him, and blood from his wrist was soaking into the sheets. No caption, but it was enough to drive Lisa crazy. She, who didn't want to live, now wanted to die for love. Her parents pinned her down like a pig for New Year's. I rolled my eyes discreetly. If an artery was cut, the blood would spray. The bleeding style and volume aren't like that. I'm sure he's fine. Just rest up. I'll try to find out more. Okay? Lisa, at her wit's end, clung to my words like a lifeline. Her parents probably thought anything to calm her down is good, not caring about my feelings. I snapped a couple of photos of Lisa's miserable state, took screenshots of William's post, and added pictures from her car accident. Then I tossed them all into their class group chat with a speedy text. Hi everyone. It's Lisa's husband, Paul. Did you see William's photo? Lisa got in a car accident gonna see him last night, and her right leg got amputated. She's threatening to die for him. I'm asking for any news about William. Please let me know. Just as I expected, William's post was a clear signal. Their group chat immediately blew up. Some were surprised at my tolerance, others were gossiping. I answered whatever they asked, providing the whole story with pictures. I made sure to broadcast their picture-perfect love fully. Quickly, someone gave me a clue. William's fine, but Lisa's really sad. I'll drop by the hospital to see her. Everyone could smell the drama unfolding, and coincidentally, that person was Lisa's archenemy, Olivia, who I also knew. We're in the same industry and I've snatched deals from her before. I turned and informed Lisa's parents and her that William was fine. Outside the room, I gave Olivia a call from my own phone. Before I could ask, Olivia snidely said, William's fine. His ex is my cousin. Sent to the hospital last night but didn't even need stitches. His last 2 social media posts were probably only visible to his ex and Lisa. He couldn't win back the ex, so he was using Lisa as a backup. They're in a cooling-off period for divorce. He's making a last-ditch effort to win her back. Lisa thought she was the main character, ended up like this. It's hilarious. Lisa had been William's backup plan. I was furious at myself for picking up trash, my vision going black with anger. Olivia, interested in taking over my company? Let's push through the transfer quickly. Your cousin and my wife both want divorces. We could collaborate nicely together. The company in my hands should be turned into cash. Olivia, my rival, taking over would save me future trouble. She laughed heartily. I'd love that. Paul's decisive. Name your price. I chatted with her for about 10 minutes, and it went smoothly. I took a little hit on the price, gaining 2 partners to act out the drama. Non-listed company transfers are simple, it won't take a few days. Lisa had signed a transfer agreement without specifying the employer. The official fee is just $3,000 for the process, the rest goes to my brother's account overseas. I beautifully completed the bulk of the asset transfers, ensuring Lisa wouldn't get a dime even if we divorced. Back in the hospital room, Lisa remained oblivious, only caring about William. Paul, how's he doing? Is he okay? I shook my head. He's perfectly fine. Don't worry, he should contact you soon. I was certain William would call because Olivia told me another tidbit. Her cousin isn't that appealing and William cheated, leading to their divorce. But her cousin isn't innocent either. She'd quietly settled her pre-marriage assets, and post-marriage earnings aren't under her name. William's been supporting his family, tallying it up. He'd still have to give more to Olivia's cousin. That's why he's causing all this trouble, hoping Olivia's cousin would relent or he could reel Lisa back in. Olivia promised me that if I told her cousin William's antics, she'd be sure her cousin would be heartless. William was surely trying to woo Lisa, who seemed like a good catch. Plus, I was sharing stories in their high school group chat which William could see. The phone call was bound to come. Lisa, just rest up and take care of yourself. Once you're better, you can do anything you want. Her mother-in-law took the chance while Lisa was behaving, trying to talk some sense into her. Lisa nodded, beginning to mourn her lost leg. But then my parents stormed in, furious. Lisa, did you think I was dead? Bullying my son Paul? If you weren't already injured, I'd make sure you were. My dad, a towering man from his military days, had a voice that seemed to shake the hospital room. My mom, much smaller, was swinging her purse at Lisa's head. What happened to the promises you made when you begged to marry our son? Divorce. Dad chimed in immediately, yes, divorce. The papers are ready if you're alive. Go to the courthouse now. Lisa's in-laws tried to mediate. We're all family. Let's discuss this calmly. Those papers were signed in a moment of anger. They don't mean anything. They were probably nervous, thinking about how Lisa had to leave with nothing in the divorce, especially with her now being disabled. But my parents weren't about to be swayed. Lisa wasn't acting right but wanted to stay part of the family. With everything on camera in black and white, she signed with her print. No backing out now. Just then, Lisa's phone started ringing. All eyes were on her, and the room went suddenly silent. Oblivious, she answered the call excitedly. William's low sobbing voice came through. Lisa, why were you so foolish? Does your leg still hurt? You must take care to recover fully. I'm worried about you, and knowing you still love me makes me want to rush to your side. But you're married. It's not fair to your husband. His words moved Lisa to tears. Eyes red, she nodded repeatedly before responding. I heard you were getting a divorce, so I signed the papers too. There's no way I'd let you be the third wheel. We've missed too much already. I don't want to miss any more. I smirked inwardly. But my dad had had enough and shouted, Divorce! Go register it right now. Lisa's parents tried to say some good words, but seeing their love-struck daughter heading toward madness, they didn't dare provoke her further. Lisa simply replied, Okay, let's register now. William, wait for me. Dad turned on his heel, left the room, and soon returned with some hospital staff. We'll take the ambulance, I'll pay, he said. In no time, we were in the ambulance with Lisa still on the phone. Her in-laws, exhausted from the whole ordeal, barely had time to react. They were left far behind as we drove off. Luckily, I had all necessary documents on me. Without her parents' guidance, just listening to William's words fueled her urgency to divorce more than mine. Going to file for divorce in an ambulance? Must have been rare for the staff as we got fast-tracked without a hitch. The process was so smooth, I couldn't believe it. It said that people who cheat go through a kind of addiction, much like substance withdrawals. If the original spouse wants a divorce, it's key to capitalize on this period to negotiate. I never got it before, but now I definitely saw it clearly. Thank goodness. With the receipt in hand, I told Lisa, the car is totaled. The house is in my name. I'll change the locks. The savings and our son stay with me. I'll pack your things and leave them at your parents' door. Let's not bother each other anymore. William should soon be there to care for you, so I won't bother you at the hospital. Just a heads up, don't tell William you're leaving with nothing. He's worried enough about you, no need to stress him about everyday things, right? Lisa mistook my words for kindness and, showing a bit of conscience, said, Paul, I'm sorry. I quickly waved it off, establishing boundaries. Lisa's parents tried following us by car, but the ambulance was long gone when they got there. I joined my parents in the car afterward, leaving them no time to talk. That day, I arranged for a cleaner to pack Lisa's things and sent them away, then moved back with my parents. The house was in my name, no need to transfer anything. I reset the locks and listed it on several platforms below market price. Even Ken, who's seen lots of divorce cases, slapped his knee and said, "Paul, that was slick, fast and satisfying, but there's still the cooling off period. Lisa might try to hold on. Any plans?" That's exactly what bothers me. If not, why rush to tie up loose ends? Lisa might be irrational, but her folks are still clear-headed. Once Olivia takes over, they won't stay calm. Ken, can you loan me a couple of your people for help? After getting everything in order, a strange emptiness set in. Felt like I was waking from a dream. Everything changed in just 2 days. I cried on my mom's shoulder, recounting past life tales as if they were dreams. My parents were just as upset, wanting to confront Lisa. Afterward, I took it easy, spending quality time with family. Contentment was an understatement. I occasionally got updates from Ken's team and Olivia. Once the cooling off period ended, Olivia's cousin got her divorce efficiently. William ended up flying over, tending to Lisa with extreme care. Days later, Olivia took over Lisa's parents' company, by which point they were panicking. Ken's team called, "Paul, Lisa's parents are push-pulling her to contest for more assets," keeping William completely in the dark. A lawsuit might be the next step. I was mentally prepared for litigation. I ended the call and reached out to Ken. "Ken, I don't want to waste time. Let's file the lawsuit scheduling. If Lisa agrees to a settlement, we can withdraw." They came looking for me several times at the old house, but no luck. Finally, they showed up at my parents' place. My dad picked up a broom from the yard and yelled, "You got the nerve to show your faces here? Get lost. Next time you come around, I'm gonna smack you." I guess they camped outside a few more times, but I was laying low, not showing my face. The day the cooling off period ended, Lisa came by. "Paul, I don't believe you sold the company for just $5,000. It was valued at least $12 million, and with the money from selling your house, it should be at least $17 million. I don't want much. Just give me $7 million, and we can sort the papers today. We're not strangers. Don't be so heartless." I gave a cold smile. "Did you completely forget about the house money from my parents and the investment in the company? Speaking of which, did we forget your parents' house in our joint assets?" No way to talk anymore. I turned to walk away, waiting for the lawsuit. Called Olivia. "Olivia, can you and your sisters send out the last batch of stuff?" Olivia chuckled. "I've been waiting for this drama for ages. It's gonna be great, promise." That day, Olivia explained the company scene to William, then told me about it. William immediately fought with Lisa, throwing a tantrum. Lisa had to admit she was broke. Who knows what Olivia's cousin promised William, but he thought there was still a chance for a reunion. Without missing a beat, William turned on Lisa, shouting, "Pathetic cripple, broke as hell and still want me to marry you? Shameless. You're empty and clean as hell, and you tricked me into serving you for free for days. Every time we did it, it made me want to puke, and still Lisa tried to salvage things. I filed for divorce. I can get the property back, and your $5 million dowry won't be short. William, as long as you love me, I'll work myself to death to support us." William rolled his eyes to the sky. "Love's worth nothing." Lisa's mom couldn't stand it and jumped in, but even mother-daughters united, they couldn't win. Lisa finally learned what her Prince Charming was like, dumbfounding her. William coolly taunted, "You're good at imagining stuff. My Facebook status was for my ex and you bought it." When she heard the real story of the night of his crash, Lisa went wild. "I'll strangle you," she yelled, sprang up from her wheelchair, lunging at William. Missed her mark, hit the floor. Got kicked by William. A cripple trying to play boss? No mirror, no puddle, huh? Can't see your own reflection? Olivia's story was vivid. I regretted missing the show. Lisa sulked for over a month. With the trial in 2 weeks, she started sending me long messages, seeking forgiveness, reminiscing, missing our son. I didn't block her to keep the evidence, but read them for fun. She got bold, writing more each day, each different from the last. Then she tried old school drama, soaking in rain outside my place for a night, sending me pics from the hospital bed. I sent the pics to Olivia and Ken to enjoy. After that, she vanished. Recalling her past life's cruelty, I was wary, messaged Ken. Watch out for Lisa losing it. She seems mentally off sometimes. On court day, Lisa broke down crying. Paul, I love you. I don't want a divorce. Judge, our feelings aren't broken. I'll work to fix them. Ken played evidence, videos from our son's first month, photos of her with William during our cooling off period, staying in her parents' home. Ended with William's words on the dowry discussion, saying being with her made him sick. Nearly laughed out loud. Her attorney showed a video. The agreement was signed while drunk. She wasn't clear-headed, claiming it invalid. Ken slapped down a mountain of videos. Their feelings weren't just broken, more like shattered. Lisa stared right at me. Paul, did you ever love me? I smiled, calm as a breeze. Loved you. She laughed like a lunatic, tears streaming down. I agreed to divorce. Walking out of court, I tilted my face up, shielded my eyes with my hand. Bathed in sunlight, I felt completely relaxed at last. My son and I could finally start fresh. Then a pat on the shoulder startled me. Olivia stood next to me, her smile radiant. Congrats on the divorce. Want to give Lisa one final blow? What? Marry her arch-nemesis. Have your son call her mommy. Drive her crazy. Arch-nemesis? You? You're nuts. Hey, I'm serious. Or consider dating me with marriage in mind. Wouldn't pack quite the same punch. We'll see. She was interesting, plus a catch. But I wasn't in a rush to date, much less marry. Let time handle things. Much later, news about Lisa emerged. Both she and William were dead. Not a love-suicide, more like murder-suicide. Olivia said William realized her cousin wouldn't take him back. She'd married someone else. Life was average, but enough to drive Lisa jealous. She probably blamed those posts from William for losing her leg, ending up with nothing. People tend to blame others. That afternoon, I got Lisa's farewell letter. Basically, it said she was blind and heartless, couldn't see William for who he was, nor understand her own heart. Realizing I was her true love, it was too late. Living was painful. She begged for my forgiveness before going. First love's sweet memory turned dirty, treating me like a stand-in. Now the untouchables, suddenly the love of a lifetime? Nonsense.